Good day, folks, and welcome to the 2013 Victoria County webinar series. We're pleased to offer the first one today, calling Getting Started with Email Marketing Using Mailchimp. Our presenter is Jamie Vander Kooi from the Technology Resource Coordinator from TIAPEI. The webinar will cover the steps in getting set up and started with email marketing. And here's just a little bio on Jamie. He's got a great picture today, doesn't he? He's the Technology and Online Marketing Consultant for Tourism Industry Association of PEI. He lives in PEI, of course, and works with the local tourism operators as well as the Atlantic Canada tourism businesses and projects to help and advance online marketing strategies. He's worked in the IT industry since 2000, focusing on online marketing and web development in the travel and tourism industry within Canada and Atlantic Canada since 2006. He works with a number of government departments in Atlantic Canada, with the COA, and also through Tourism Technology .com project that he coordinates in his province of PEI. Jamie recently worked on the Vote My Fundy campaign to make the Bay of Fundy one of the 7 wonders of nature, and I believe the Cabot Trail snuck in there too as well. Jamie's very passionate about search engine optimization, email marketing, standards-based web design, and he's a car nut and he loves driving his Volvo. So anyway, we'd like to take this time to welcome Jamie, and the presentation will begin.
Thanks, Tom. I'm just going to get my notes up here so we can talk. So we're going to talk a little bit today about getting started with email marketing. And for my example today, I'm going to be using Mailchimp. We use Mailchimp a little bit, so I'd kind of like to use something a little more familiar with. So a little bit about me. You heard a little bit from what Tom said, but my name's Jamie Vander Kooi, Kooi like the fish, and I previously worked for a travel agency. That's kind of how I got into doing website work and email marketing. And we used to send out, quite a few emails a week, somewhere between 2 and 4, just depending on the time of year and stuff. And we started with a list of approximately 2,100, and within a year we grew that to 5,700 emails. Now, that was back in 2005, 2006. And basically, we sent out a whole bunch of emails. We literally spammed people at that point in time because we didn't have the tools available to us with Mailchimp at the time. But now at TIAPEI, we've recently switched over to Mailchimp, and we send out anywhere between 6 to 8 emails a month, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But we try to send our email, on a regular basis, and only send out what we need to send out. So I'm going to bring my notes up here a little bit more, figure out how to do that. But really with email marketing, everybody asks them, why would you do email marketing? There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's all kinds of great social media tools out there. But above all, email marketing still beats them hands down for return on investment. Email marketing is pretty cheap, really, so you can do it for very, very little money, and the return on investment is just enormous. Exact Target recently put out a research piece, and it surveyed people that were 15 and older and seeing how they'd like to get direct messages back and forth from businesses that want to do business with them. And email marketing was the top one. It had 77% of people that answered that survey said, I'd rather get it through my email. The next closest was direct mail, which was something that they mail out. And text messaging was after that at 5%, direct mail was 9%, Facebook fell in at 4%, and Twitter and LinkedIn barely even touched the scale. Another reason we like to do email marketing is it's measurable. You can measure all kinds of stuff. You can measure open rates, click-through rates, who clicked what they clicked, what they were looking at. You know who the email went to. You get bounce reports back, so if an email went to somebody and the email address doesn't come back, you get bounce. You can also track shares and forwards, who clicked to share this on Facebook or who forwarded to what. It's very simple to do. You can if you can create an email in Outlook, you can create an email in Mailchimp or Constant Contact or any other email service providers tools. Like I said before, it's low cost. You can do a paper email, or if you have a small list, you can usually do it for almost nothing, or if not for nothing. And it's kind of fun. I like doing email marketing just because, you know, it's kind of fun to see if I can get a better open rate from time to time. But one thing you should know before you do any email marketing, and this also goes with Facebook or Twitter or stuff, you have to have a great website that you can use to turn those email or those leads that you get from email or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, direct marketing. You got to be able to turn them into a conversion. And if you don't have a great website, it's all a big waste of time, because in this day and age, people will use the internet to find you after they've seen you either on Facebook or Twitter or something else. The whole purpose of these tools that we're using, these online tools for online marketing, is to drive them back to the website. The website's the hub for your whole marketing platform. So, how does email marketing work? How does this all work in the end? Well, at the top of the funnel, you dump in your subscribers, kind of like the magic bullet of online marketing. You dump in your subscribers, you send them an email, they read the subject line, hopefully they'll open it. Then they read the content, they click on the links, the calls to action, CTAs is what I like to call them, on what they find interesting or what they want to learn more about. And, you know, every email, everything that you send out should have a call to action. It's like a friend of mine used to describe the banana and the monkey. Every web page, everything that you do should have a banana on it, because the user's the monkey and they want to click over to the banana or grab the banana and do something with it. So everything that you do should have a call to action. And a call to action isn't always a link. It could be an email address. It could be just opening the email could be considered a call to action if that's what the purpose of your email is. It could be calling a phone number. It could be clicking on it or taking a picture of a QR code. There's a lot of different things. But once they've clicked the CTA or the call to action, they're going to land hopefully on your website and or a landing page specifically done for that. So once they click the CTA and they're on your website, you can use your Google Analytics to view what they've done on your website. And hopefully everybody in this day and age has Google Analytics. You know, it's one of the greatest tools that we can have. It's one of the free tools that's out there, and everybody should have that on their site. And you know, what you're putting in your email really depends on whether they're going to click on that stuff or not. So when they clicked on the call to action, you should have another. They go to your website. You should have another call to action on that. Whether it's for them to see the products and then click to find more information out about the products, or to add it to their shopping cart or what have you. And eventually, when they go through all this stuff, they're going to click on hopefully purchase, call, whatever your end goal to that product or service that you offer is going to be. So again, it could be them buying something, it could be them just calling, it could be all kinds of different things, signing up for a newsletter, friending you or liking you on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. So, and it might, like I said, it might not always be a product. It could be anything. It could be even just add a TripAdvisor review to your list of TripAdvisor contacts. So whenever you start getting serious about email marketing, one of the things that you need to do is think about a few things. Why are you doing this? You know, really, why do I want to do email marketing? Do I want to drive traffic to my website? Maybe that's what the whole purpose is. Maybe I want to get a little more brand awareness. Do I want to send them specials to inform them about what's going on with my business? Maybe I want to engage them to do more with my business or do more with my website. It's also used to build one-on-one communication. You know, tell them about what's going on with your business. You know, every time I write a blog post, maybe you'll automatically email, or maybe vice versa. Maybe I want to conduct a survey, see how I'm doing. Again, you can do email marketing for a lot of reasons, but you should know what you're doing it for before you get involved in it. Another thing you want to know is who's your target audience. Who's going to be on your list will determine who or what kind of content you're going to be putting on there. And in this day and age, using tools like Mailchimp and Constant Contact and all these ones that I'm going to talk about today, you can segment that list off to male, female, people that are in Nova Scotia, people that are in PEI, people that are in New Brunswick, people that are interested in tours, people that are interested in gift stores, people that are interested in God only knows what. But you can segment that list and chop it and divide it and only send specific emails to the people that are really wanting to get. You have to know how you're going to get their info, that, you know, their email address and their first name, last name, and hopefully company name as well. You know, is it somebody that's been here in the last 6 months to a year? You know, all that kind of stuff. You got to realize, you got to think about, how am I going to get this info to build this client list, this subscriber list at some point in time? Are they going to subscribe through my website? Am I going to invite them through Facebook? That kind of stuff. You should also know what you want to send and tell them on a regular basis. If you don't know what you're going to sell them, or you don't know what you're going to tell them, it's going to be really hard to plan out what your email strategy is going to be. You also want to know how they're going to read the emails. Will they be viewing emails on a PC? Maybe they'll be viewing it for a mobile phone. Maybe they're going to be using Outlook, Gmail, Hotmail, Webmail, or some other type of Outlook or email client. And at that point in time, you know, every one of those displays your email just a little bit different, so you want to be really aware of that. But the big one really is, are they going to be using it on a mobile phone, or are they going to be using it on a PC? And the other big question is my website ready for the traffic? You know, are you able to prepare a specified landing page for your calls to action that you're going to put in your email? The website and the web pages you want them to go to, you know, they have to be manipulated so that they can convert that person into a sale or into another call to action after they've read that email and clicked there. So, okay, now you've answered a few of these questions. Now you want to pick an email service provider, and ESP is what we call them. It's not thinking about what everybody's trying to figure out what everybody's thinking, but you should answer a few of these questions. You want to know what information your group, what information you would like to know about those subscribers that's in there. For me, I like knowing their first name, last name, their email address, their company name, and a little bit of where they're from. That's at least to me my minimum requirements. What kind of information would you like to receive back on the emails? Like, what kind of reports do you want to see back? You know, if you have a small list of people, you know, you're not going to get a lot of stats, but you're going to get some stats as well. And the big thing is how big. This is really going to determine who you're really going to pick, because of how large your subscribers, or how many subscribers you're going to have. A lot of the pricing is based on either the number of emails you send out or the number of people you have on your subscriber list. You may only send to a small list of 200 people and send 2 emails a week. You may have a larger list of 10,000 people and send out 4 emails a year. Or you could have a list of 5,000 or 6,000 and send out an email every day. And each one of these conditions is going to make or break who's going to really work for you. With Mailchimp, one of the great things about Mailchimp is if you have a subscriber list with, or a group of subscriber lists with less than 10,000, or sorry, it's 2,000 subscribers, and you send less than 12,000 emails a month, you can do it completely for free. If you want to add on a couple of features, they're pretty cost effective at that point in time. If you go outside of that box, well, then you're going to have to start paying, but it works out to, I think it's like $15 US a month is where the pricing starts. And you can also buy blocks of emails of like pay-as-you-go kind of stuff as well. But really, your list and how often you're going to send emails is really going to determine who your email service provider is going to work best for you. And it's not going to be eeny, meeny, miny, mo, hopefully. So here's a list of some email service providers out there. Some are better than others, just depending on your requirements, but most will do all the basic same things that you need to do to get started with email marketing. Mailchimp, the one I use, works really good. It's really simple. Constant Contact's another one. We use it in this office for another project, and the girl that uses it in here loves it, thinks it's the cat's meow. And they have a lot of other things too. You can create events around it. You can create surveys and polls around it as well. There's all kinds of stuff. The next 3 I haven't used, but I know a few people that do use them and like them. And one's iContact. Campaign Monitor's another one. Boomerang's another one. And there's hundreds of other ones out there as well. I guess we're going to do a poll now. So kind of what I'd like to see is, you know, just if you do email marketing, say yes to one of the 2 to 7 there, but who do you use? Do you use Mailchimp? Do I use Constant Contact? Do you use iContact? Any of that? So the poll's ended. So I don't know if everybody can see this, but we have quite a few people that say that they don't use email marketing, but the same amount of people, which is about a third, actually use Mailchimp. That's awesome. And we have 3 or 4 that say that they use another email marketing product. Unfortunately, we can't tell who it is, but that's great that, you know, really out of 15 or 16 people here, we have almost 10 of them using an email marketing. That's 2/3. That's actually pretty impressive. Usually I'd be shocked to see that many people if I asked that in one of our meetings or something. So, all right, I can bring my notes screen back up here. So, why Mailchimp? Why Mailchimp? Oh, where'd my notes go? There's my notes. Okay. So, like I said before, today I'm going to be using Mailchimp. The reason I'm going to use Mailchimp, and like I said, if you want to use something else or whatever, doesn't mean you have to use Mailchimp. There's tons of other options out there. But the reason I use Mailchimp, it's very friendly to use. Like I said, if you can create an email with Outlook or in Hotmail or whatever, you should be able to muddle your way through Mailchimp for the very first one. It's designed to let you find what you need to get the job done. It's very intuitive, easy to navigate through the process, and you know, the monkey's kind of fun too. It's got a great help section. It's got all kinds of guides, video tutorials. Some of the short videos they have short videos on just about every topic or every question that you could ask for, at least for the basic stuff, and even for some of the advanced stuff too. And some of it will go over your head, but don't worry about that. Just get the basic stuff down first. Chances are they have a how-to video for any questions that you're going to have. They also integrate with tons of other services. We use Eventbrite for some of our registration. It works with that. If you use WordPress for your website, there's little integrations for that as well, for the emailing lists. FreshBooks, if you use that. QuickBooks is another one. I think there's an integration for that. A lot of client relationship or CRM software like Salesforce or Act, Goldmine, or one of those ones. They have all kinds of interactions for that. So, and the other thing, like I said, it's free. You know, 12,000 emails a month, subscriber lists that total less than 2,000 subscribers overall. If you fall in that range, Mailchimp is by far the option for you, unless you like spending money. Which, like I said, personally, free is my favorite word, or 2 favorite words. So I rather do it for free. So really, with Mailchimp or any other ESP, email service provider, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need an email address that you can send out on. And really, I can't stress this enough, you have to send out on one that's tied to your domain name of your website. Don't send it out on one that says Hotmail or Gmail. I don't even think that most of them will let you send out on that kind of email address. It should be one that ties back to the domain name for your website. So if my domain is Joey's Cottages, I should be sending out from Jamie at Joey's Cottages, or info or webmaster or something at Joey's Cottages. Another thing you're going to have to think about too is having a message about how you acquired their email address or their contact information. And I got a little example of what we put in our TIAPEI one here. You're receiving this email because you opted in at our website, registered for an event, are a TIAPEI member or an affiliate member. So basically what we're saying there is they've either signed up for our newsletter somewhere along the line on our website at one point in time, they've participated in an event and gave us their information, they're a TIAPEI member, which means they would have provided the information, so we want to get their communication, and either they're one of our affiliate members to one of our regional tourism associations as well. So that way they know where I got that email address from. The other thing you should make sure you have, and then I can't stress this on enough either, you should also have your logo on most of your email, if not all of your email. You want, when they open that email, they see it in the preview pane, you want them to instantly identify who is sending them this email. If you don't have your logo, at least have your business name up there. A lot of them, like Mailchimp, they have the banner kind of thing. And when I say banner, they like to have this wide, narrow, like wide across and short and as far as height goes, banner that goes across. And some people, like for me, I have kind of a square kind of logo, so it's tough, so I have to kind of work around that. But a lot of them like banner logos. If you can get into a banner logo, that's fine. But if you have square logos, you have to be a little bit more creative. I kind of like to have mine on the left-hand side. The other thing that you can do is you can put in your own colors and stuff like that. Mailchimp actually goes and looks at your website, pulls off your color palette, and says, do you want to use this? And you can kind of customize your fonts and all that kind of stuff. It's really neat. But personally, I like to use white. Just like my my presentation here, I find white's easy to lay logos on top of. The text comes out good if I use dark text and white background. You can't see it. Most logos I'm going to get have a white background in them, so it makes just my whole life a lot easier to use white. It's fine to get a little creative once you get used to it, but when you're first starting out, I think white is really the best way to go. You can always change it later on. So you want to create a list of subscribers after you get all that done. Once you've signed up and you get all this information, you want to create a list of subscribers. So first option, you can type them all in one by one, but that's not very fun. I can tell you that one for sure. And when you're first playing around with this, you can start off with a short little email address. Maybe you have 4 or 5 emails. If you're anything like me, I swear to God, I got a dozen emails somewhere along the line. But you can just send them to a group of family and friends, or you can sign up for Hotmail and Gmail and all that kind of stuff, which I would recommend, so you get to see them in all kinds of different layouts. But when you really get serious, you can import people. But don't bother your list from people. That's a big no-no. But you can import people from a list. You can get the data from previous customer data, list created from people that said they want to receive your newsletter somewhere along the line, another subscription form, registrations from other activities, events, contests, affiliate lists. I wouldn't recommend affiliate lists unless you know how clean they are. And when I say clean, that they've actually opted in at some point in time. And you can purchase lists, but that's not a good thing too. You just end up becoming one with spam. The other great way of doing it especially after you get your website up and running and you get your email campaign and stuff going, let them subscribe via form. Once with Mailchimp, one of the things that they do is they let you create forms that you can put on your website. You can even put them in Facebook. You can link to them over in Twitter. You can put them in a lot of different places online if you do affiliate marketing. You can put these forms online and people can subscribe to the email as well. And the other thing you can kind of do is neat, and I didn't have it in my notes, but I'm just thinking of it now, is let's say you just have their first name and last name and their email address. You could send them an email, after a year or two or after a certain point, or if they open up X amount of emails, to say, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Can you ask them for their address, or ask them for where they're located, or ask them what interests them? So instead of sending them every email that you have, if they're only interested in A, B, and C, then you're only going to send them A, B, and C, and not D, E, and F kind of thing. But the biggest thing that you need to get over is that you need to have their consent to send them something. Now, I'm going to tell you that one with a grain of salt, because if you needed to get everybody to sign up for your newsletter, here's the shocking truth. You're only going to have 4 or 5 people on your subscriber list right off the bat. You have to get a little creative, but one of the things that I do if I have a subscriber list and I know it's pretty clean, is I'll send them an initial email telling them who I am, what I did, where I got their email, and then I'll ask them very politely, if you're not interested in this, please click the unsubscribe list at the bottom. The other thing that you need to do in every email is provide an unsubscribe link. If you're using Mailchimp or Constant Contact or iContact or Boomerang or any of the other ones, they always put an unsubscribe link into the email. And by law, you have to do that nowadays, and it has to be really easy for them just to click it and away they go. But you always need to have their consent eventually to send them emails. So, like I said before, list information. This is really important. You have to do a little bit of thinking, a little bit of preparation with this. But first thing you need to have an email address. You can't send an email if you don't have an email address. You should also have the first and last name, and those should be separated as well. That way, when you start getting a little bit more sophisticated and personalizing emails, you can send me an email and you can say, hey, Jamie, it's great that you signed up for my email address. I hope you come to, and if I say that I was interested in golf, come to our area in Cape Breton, destination Cape Breton, and enjoy some great golf. Or if I said I like shopping, some great shopping, I can customize all that kind of stuff. Company name, if you're, like for me, I deal with more businesses, so company name is important to me. But if you're dealing with somebody else, it could be an interest level of something, or at least maybe where they subscribe from. A lot of different things that's in there. A couple nice to haves, like I said, is addresses. That's, to me, that way you can segment off. If I want to send an email that's specific for people in PEI, I can kind of tune my content for that as well. And then you want to start tagging the stuff with activities or groups or something that you can segment them by. Like for us, we segment for members, non-members, maybe some of the interests, some of the activities that they've put in if they've come to one of our AGMs or conferences or something like that. We'll flag them as they attended the 2012 annual general meeting. So next year when we send it out, we might send a special email out just for the people that attended the year before. Or maybe we're going to just survey the people that attended. So we kind of go in and flag them. It's a little bit of work, but it makes your life a lot easier. It makes it so that you're not spamming the people on a regular basis as well. So, and like I said, with groups and segments, you can slice and dice your list at that point in time once you have a bunch of information in there. You can slice it by region, again, people from New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Ontario, by activity, by what they're interested in, and segments can be anything that you want. Even in Mailchimp, you can even hide those segments from your subscribers so they never have to see what you've got them flagged as. You can have them flagged as a pain in the butt to deal with. I don't want to send this guy an email, so it's all kinds of things that you can segment them for. Yeah, you can. Somebody just asked here, can you copy and paste a list of subscribers? Depending on where you get the list from, legally you can or can't. But in Mailchimp, you can create your subscriber list in Excel or any spreadsheet, and you can actually go highlight the cells that you want to copy in with all the information in and literally paste it in. It's super easy. I do it all the time. It's lovely. It's probably one of the best things. If you don't have it that way, you can save your Excel spreadsheet as a CSV file. I know Constant Contact lets you upload that. If you've been doing it in Outlook for a while, you can also export your Outlook file to a CSV file and collect off or to an Excel file for that matter, and segment it all out and then tidy it all up and then copy and paste it in there as well. So, subscriber forms. So like I said before, once you get your email list done up and you know what you want to collect, you can put your subscriber forms on any website, any online place that you want to put them. And literally they look that simple. Email address, first name, last name, subscriber list, boom, bang, Bob's your uncle, and they're on your list. And then from there you can start sending them. You can send them a follow-up email right afterwards and thank you for subscribing to our list. Please tell me what your information is. There's these little things called autoresponders, so when an activity happens. Again, that's a little bit more advanced and we're just talking about getting started, but you can do all that kind of stuff. The other thing about, collecting that information, it helps you from just becoming part of the spam. So, designing your emails. With Mailchimp, you can do an awful lot of stuff. You can drop and drag. You can do basic email templates, and it's just basically you start with a white blank sheet of emails. You can do pre-designed templates, which work with Eventbrite or SurveyMonkey, or they're already pre-designed for a newsletter or for a gift card or something like that. And then you can save your own templates, and this is what I would recommend to do. You start off with a basic template, then you can save it as your own template as well. It's a great way to kind of keep your emails format the same all the time. And why would you template? Well, it keeps everything consistent. As you keep sending your emails, you want that consistency to be the same, so they always see the same kind of presentation level and new content all the time. It keeps you from making mistakes as well. It makes it easy to change the content. You just go in, change the content. You don't have to worry about putting the logo in. You don't have to worry about putting your banner in. You don't have to worry about putting the right links in, all that kind of stuff. And you can use different templates for different needs. You might have a template for just sending out a one subject email, and you might have another template for doing your monthly newsletter as well. And you can modify and tweak them as you want and kind of change them around. Let's say you want to try a little different type of link. You can go in and change them when you're not sending emails and kind of fine-tune them as well. And it also reduces a lot of formatting errors along the way. And to create a template, or when you create a template, you can set your company logo. You can structure the email however you want the structure. You can select your text style, you know, what size your headers are going to be, what size your fonts are going to be, what fonts you're going to use. You can use whatever backgrounds you want. It just makes life a whole lot easier to do. So I just go in and pop my content in, and then I format it however I want. It works really, really slick. So after that, you're going to create your campaign. You send an email, you want to send an email, and in Mailchimp they call it create a campaign. And really all you have to do to create your campaign is select the type of campaign you want. Usually it's going to be a regular one. Select the list of people you want to send to. And you can just, for starting out, you can just send it to a test list, or you can send it to a live list. You create a little name for the campaign. You do a subject line. I'm going to talk a little bit about subject lines here in a second. An email address to send it out on, and that's the one that the person that receives the email is going to see at the end of the day. So if I sent one out for tourism technology, I might send it out as help at tourism technology. If I send one out to you guys, I might send it out from Jamie, because we've already had this conversation or presentation at this point in time, so I want to personalize it down a little bit, but you can send it out to different ones. Constant contact, once you set your email address though, when you first set up, I don't know if you can change it. You never used to be able to. With Mailchimp, you can put in whatever you want. Also, you can customize what you want them to see in the from box. You can see it can be from Jamie. It could be from, or not from Jamie, but it could be from Tourism Industry Association. It could be from Jamie Vander Kooi. And you can also see what their names in the to box as well. And then basically, after you're done, you select your basic or templated campaign to start off and put your content in. Biggest thing about email marketing is probably subject lines. You have to be very specific. You have to tell them what's going to be in the email. You have to be true to that content too. If you're going to tell them that it's about golf, don't send them an email about romance packages. You have to be very concise with that subject line. Long subject lines don't get picked up very well. Clarity. Be very clear about what you're telling them, and don't try to be too clever. Sometimes clever works, but there's been a lot of research in the last little while about clever ones compared to just plain Jane. This is the one I'm using all the time, and a lot of times the plain Jane one works over the cute and clever one. People might not appreciate it. You should always include your company name. Where was it here? There's Weber Research did some studies, and they said, you know, if you include your company name, people are more apt to open it 7 times. I think it's 7 or 8 times more so than anything else. And you want to avoid certain words in your subject line, spam words. If you have sale or buy, I think I have a list of them here somewhere in your subject line. A lot of times the spam filters will look at that and say, yeah, no, that's a spam, or it will rank you at a certain level. There's a bunch of helpful tools that help you pick subject lines. Google Trends is one. HubSpot has a list of about the top, I think it's 100 spammy words that you don't want to put in your email. There's another one from Litmus, Subject Line Checker. It'll tell you how your subject line might perform in the email. You put in a little bit of information. The Litmus one is a paper one, though, I believe. Quick poll, and we'll be quick. I think we're scooting on time here, but. How do you pick your email? How do you, with your email, when you first do it, how do you get it? Do you get it on the computer? Do you get it on your phone? Or do you get it on your tablet or device or iPad? People pick it up on their computer, about the other pretty close, their phone, and a few people didn't answer. So, but in this day and age, a lot of people are picking it up on their phone. You have to be really aware of that kind of stuff. So. Email content must have a relevant subject line. If you don't have a relevant subject line, you're not telling them what they're going to be reading and all that kind of stuff, then it's really hard for them to decide whether they want to read that email. Be personalized. I like to personalize the first name of their email. I like to say, hello. First name, last name if I can. Sometimes I personalize the top heading of the email to have Jamie, Vander Kooi, and TIAPEI at the top of it. I like to do that. I find it a little more personal content. It gets them to open it a little better. Another big thing is have valuable content, stuff that they actually want to read. There's nothing worse than sending out a whole bunch of stuff and nobody ever reads it. Headings. Headings allow people to quickly scan through the email and find the content that interests them. Email newsletters are not like newspapers. You know, they're not going to flip through the pages and then look at what they want. They're going to have to scroll it just like a website. They look at it, okay, yeah, I'm interested in that, and they'll click over. Okay, I'm not interested in it, and they click over to something else. And that's another reason you have to have clear calls to action or links to the appropriate relevant web page or specific landing pages on your website that provide the rest of the information. If I'm doing a newsletter, I only put maybe the first paragraph of the newsletter in, and then or enough to just tease them to click over to it, and then they have to come back to my website, and that way I can track them. Readable. Like I said, with a ton of images, a lot of times you can't read your email. I get these emails from I'm an IT guy, so I get them from Tiger Direct all the time, and a lot of times they're all images, and I can't read them on my BlackBerry, so which is totally useless for me. And mobile friendly, again, that's why you don't do the images. Or you can have a plain text version of email as well. But again, Mailchimp also offers you in the templates, templates that are mobile friendly as well, that you can use for either computer-based or for mobile friendly. They work very well on both of them. Couple email marketing faux pas. These are things you don't want to do. Uppercase. We all know uppercase caps, that's like yelling at somebody. Don't use them. Also, it's really hard to read at times, just depending on the font. Create it with too many images or only images. Sending too often or sending the same content out. Nothing worse than I hate is having to read the same email I read the week before. That really sucks. I know from in here when we send out stuff and we keep blasting people, we see a high number of people unsubscribe, 2 or 3 a week is what we'll end up having. Too many spam or trigger words in your email. Sending email to just people because, okay, we committed we're going to send an email out every week at Wednesday at noon. You know what? If you don't have any good content to put out on Wednesday at noon, don't send the email. Another big thing, endless or meaningless content. You know, there's nothing with you get these emails and they're just a list upon list upon list. I could scroll through them. They look like a Facebook page. They're so long. You know, and all the content's just jammed together and it's all this stuff and I don't have any calls to action. I don't know what to do in the email. That's not right. You just put a tiny bit of information in, tie it to a header so I can see what it's about, put a little teaser in it, and give me a call to action. I'll know what's there. Too many sales pitches. Don't use your email as a sales pitch. Use it as build communications, build one-on-one reputation with your clients. And attachments, don't send attachments. Put it back on your website. Give them a little bit of information. Let them come back to the website and then download the information. Or better yet, take the content that's in the attachment and put it on your website. Then you'll get a little search engine optimization out of it too. So, some other good tips. Know and study your target audience. Read the reports that come back. Make sure they know who you are by putting that logo in the header. Make sure you're concise and to the point in your emails. Again, if you're nice and concise and you're crisp and clear, they'll get the information out really, really quickly, and they'll be able to say, I'm interested in this or I'm not interested in that. And in this day and age, we're all really trying to get things done as fast as we can. I don't want to have to dig through an email. If I do, I'm probably just going to hit the unsubscribe list. Another good thing, if you want to get a better click-through action, is create a little sense of urgency in your emails. Again, if I'm sending out my new that bookings available for 2012, get 20% off, or 2013, get 20% off on the first 100 people that book with us, or book a package, or book a tour, or whatever. Proofread, and then find somebody else proofread, because once you've gone over that email 1,000 times, you can't see spelling mistakes. I'm the worst one for that. Test your subject line. Ask friends and family or friends around there, or people in the office. You know, what do you think this subject line? Kind of look at them both. You can use Google Trends or Google. Used to be called Google Insights, but I think they call it Google Trends now. You can go to that and see what popped your subject line in there, and see what kind of volume of traffic it's in there, as well as what's the other one? Google AdWords tool. See what kind of traffic those kind of phrases get, and if there's a lot of traffic, that means people are really interested. If there's not a lot of traffic, maybe they're not. And determine your best delivery times. That will come over a course of time. You don't get reports from Mailchimp particular with this one, but eye contact or constant contact, and then they give you some information on delivery times. But I find a lot of times, I used to think between Tuesday and Thursday, between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. was the best time, but I guess some research has said, you know, actually that's the worst time, because that's when all the spam comes out now, so everybody wants to receive it on different times. Really, it all depends on your subscriber list when the best delivery times is going to be. Check once, or check twice, send once. These are some mistakes that I've made over the years, and these are some of the things you want to double check that you did before you did anything in your email. You want to make sure you changed or put in a subject line, because especially if you're templating it, a lot of times it'll template the subject line, and the next thing you know, you send it the same subject line before. Your content and subject line isn't too spammy. Again, just look over it, say, would I open that if it came in my inbox? All the merge tags, and when I say merge tags, these are the things that bring in the first name from your subscriber list or the company name or the interest level or whatever that they do. Make sure those are working properly in your list. You can do that with Mailchimp. It allows you to bring in live data, and you can look at it and make sure it's popping in there right and makes sense and stuff. All the links in your email are working properly and going to to the right web pages. That's a big thing, especially if I send emails out and all of a sudden that web page just didn't happen to be working. So right before I send it, I go through and I click all the links just to make sure they always work. Again, have somebody else proofread it. I cannot say that enough. Make sure when you go to sending, you're actually sending the right email that you meant to send. I don't know how many times I sent the wrong email before. It's just one of those things, you're in a hurry, you're in a rush, click, click, and it's like, oh, poop, I just sent the wrong email. And make sure the list that you're using is the right list as well. And then you can hit that big red send email button, and you're done. But just make sure you check your work. And reports. This is the best thing about using email service providers. Most of them will give you a report back on a lot of things. Unopens, opens, who's opened it. They'll literally give you a list of who opened your email. Clicks. They'll give you a list of what links were clicked in there. And a lot of times with Mailchimp and Constant Contact, they'll tell you exactly who clicked those links. You can even get a little hot page that tells you where on the email where the links were actually clicked and how many the percentage of people opened them, that clicked them, and all that kind of stuff. Hard bounces and soft bounces. Those are emails that didn't get delivered. Hard ones are because the email address isn't right. Soft bounces are usually because it just wasn't available, or it was delayed, or out of office reply, or mailbox full, or something like that. Hard bounces, once they bounce hard, there's no sense in keeping them at all. Soft bounces, just keep an eye on them. If they can become a problem, then you have to go in and adjust the email address. They'll tell you how many people unsubscribe, and you'll get a few unsubscribers from time to time. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. If you're really getting a lot of unsubscribers every time you send an email, well, you might want to think about the content that's in the email. Complaints. These are people that actually clicked the spam button and said you are junk. And if you get enough complaints, I think even if you get 2 in a campaign, the monkey will get on your back and he'll turn into like a 600-pound gorilla. It also tells you who's sharing and forwarding and liking tweets. It'll tell you who's done that, and you'll be able to get a little social aspect inside of Mailchimp. I'm not sure if the other ones do that. I know Constant Contact does. I'm not sure how the other ones work. I haven't worked with them before. You can get a location, regions of that have opened your email, whether it's U.S. or Canada or UK or wherever. They give you a little map off to the right that's there, and I'm not sure if they drill it right down to the cities or not, but you can get a list of locations that are there. And again, you can always go back to your subscriber list and see where they're from. And if you have it configured, you can get a return on investment. So every time somebody clicks on this link, I know it's going to cost, or 10 out of every 100 get to buy this ticket. So if the ticket costs $100, every time they click on that, I get $10. You can do that kind of math in there with some of the advanced features within Mailchimp. You have to have Google Analytics set up properly for it on your website, but you can get that report, and it's pretty slick, actually. So questions, I'll take any questions that we have right now, if I can drop that list down a little bit. And then here's all my contact information as well. I'll leave that up for a second, and then I get another slide that will have all the links and all the tools that I mentioned are on our Tourism Technology website as well. And you can go there and you can get a copy of this presentation, and you can also get a list of the links and all the information that I presented or I talked about here as well. So Deborah has a quick question. Our organization is issued with privacy, and where this information is being stored. Are all these ESPs that you were referring based in the U.S., and are there any in Canada? That's a good question. I know Mailchimp is based in the U.S. I think, I could be wrong, I think Campaign Monitor might have a Canadian connection. I'd have to look into that one, Donna, or Deborah. If I'll get your email address, and I'll take a quick look and write that one down and see if I can email you that. Is there any other questions? Any other things that are burning issues that people have, or
I just have one comment, Jamie. It's Tom here. You mentioned about the mobile devices and how that's really changing pretty well how we do things now.
Yep.
I know that this year they announced, and actually as one of the new trends is that more people are going on the internet with their mobile devices now than the PC. I know we've had a lot of good responses with email campaigns that were averaging 20% or more of the people that open their emails are doing it on mobile devices.
Yep, that would be right.
Yeah, so I'm just curious how the tourism operators out there right now are dealing with this. Are you seeing more people investing in mobile websites?
As far as mobile websites, it's a big hot topic a lot of times. There's two approaches to mobile websites. You can create a mobile website that's specific, that just has basically basic text on it or basic information on it, and it's only specific to those 5 or 6 things that people might want to do on their phone. And then you always provide them a link to the full website if they want to look at the full website. The other option is to go with what they call a responsive website. This isn't email marketing, by the way, but anyway, that's all right. I like talking about this stuff too. The other way is a responsive website that changes depending on the platform that's there. They're a little harder to manage because it's hard to get stuff to line up, but depending on whether you have if you have an iPhone and it's X amount of pixels by X amount of pixels when you got it, up and down, and then when you turn it sideways, it turns completely different. And right now you got an iPhone 4 and you got an iPhone 5, and they run at different sizes. Then you have an Android phones, and then you have iTablets, and then you get 2 different types of not iTablets, what do they call them? iPads. So you get the iPad Mini now. That's even, it's not much. It's right in between an iPhone 5 and an iPad. So, and then Android, depending on what type of Android is, depending on the size of screen. So there's all kinds of different ones to think about at that point in time. But responsive website would be, if you have the money and you have the ability to do it, and you can do it with templates with WordPress or Joomla or anything, I would go with responsive website because it's just a way better way of doing it.
Yeah, when our call to action generally is to go back to the website, I just brought that question up just to say, we have to start thinking down the road about the mobile website, because that's going to be just as important as the call to action when they go back. It
is. The worst part about the mobile website is you have so many different devices out there to accommodate, and that's why I still think the responsive way is the best way to go, especially if you want to still give them some presentation level. If you're like an organization or something that they're not going to need a lot of presentation level, or they're just literally coming back for basic information. When I say basic, really basic, you can just give them a white page with the basic information on it. Like if it's contact and directions and my GPS coordinates or my driving directions, just give them a white page with your logo on it.
Okay, thanks.
And you can do that in any website, actually. You just have it forwarded over to whatever, and when you do an email out, you can tune your website to pick up mobile devices, so it will always push them over to the mobile sites.
Is there any more questions before we close off here?
Yes, Tom, it's Annette. There's just 2 quick ones. One was sent through the chat. What was the subject line test site again to determine spam or trigger words, and does Mailchimp install the merge tags?
Mailchimp does install the merge tags. You have to go in. They got a little cheat sheet of merge tags, and you just copy and paste it out depending on what your list is and what merge tag you're looking for, and you can pop it in there. Really, really simple, really, really good to work. The subject line checker is, if you just bear with me for a second, Litmus subject line checker, and it is available at litmus.com/resources/subject line -checker. And also, if you go to that link that's on the, I'm not sure if you guys can click on that link that's up on the screen right there now. You can click on that link and view our presentation, or we can have Tom send you out that link at the end of the presentation, I guess. And you can click that, and it'll have a direct link to that site and a few others on there as well. and this presentation up there.
Okay, thanks, Jamie.
And there was also, there's also one. Could you please send along the words to avoid in the subject line? Thank you.
I will.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we're Annette. Can we just get to the closing slide for a second? Okay, can I do it?
Sorry, Deborah, they took my took my chat away here. Oh, yeah, I can type it in. You just hang on 2 seconds. I'll type that in for you.
So, on behalf of the municipality of Victoria County and our technical crew, Donna and Annette from VC CAPS, and of course Jamie, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. You will receive a recording, an email from us with a link to the recording of the session, and we'll also provide other links as well. When you leave this session, a survey will open up in a new window, and there's only a few questions, and we just want to ask you if you could take a few seconds to tell us how we did and any other suggestions you may like. So, on behalf of the Victoria County, we definitely we'd like to thank you for joining our first webinar. Our next one will probably take place on February 12th. It's on a Tuesday, and we're going to try to have our webinars on Tuesday at noon until the end of March. So some may happen every 2 weeks, some may every week. So, but we'll keep you informed on that. So on behalf of everybody, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.